Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment of our program brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Termites are out and about right now. They're in the air, and if you're seeing them in the air, they could be in your house already. You want to kill those suckers, start with free inspections and free estimates from Southeast Termite and Pest Control. And if it's been 10 years since your last treatment, it is a very good idea to have another inspection done and perhaps another treatment. These folks take care of my house. I trust them. I hope you will too. Family owned, locally owned, Southeast Termite and Pest Control. All right, the national media, I think, is overreacting a bit to the ultra negativity of that hashtag Vol Twitter crew. They say Butch Jones is on a mighty hot seat. I'm throwing out scenarios right here for the season. Then we're deciding if Curry, the boosters, and the fans would see Jones as safe or in trouble. Let's put up scenario number 4. All right, here we go. I'll read this out to you. Beat Georgia Tech, beat Indiana State, lose by 10 at Florida. Beat UMass, lose by 1 to Georgia at home, beat South Carolina, just annihilated by Alabama 55-14, lose at Kentucky 30-31. But then you beat Southern Miss at Missouri. You upset LSU. That's the first time you've beaten a West team. Let's say they're in the top 10, okay? And let's say that Kentucky lost. Kentucky was 8-4. Then you go to the Belk Bowl and you play Miami and Mark Richt and you beat them. So you finish 4th in the East. You're embarrassed by Alabama. You lose to Kentucky. But a quarterback grabs the job, finally, and wins those last 5 games. So you've got something moving into the future. You've upset LSU and you beat Mark Richt in Miami. Safe at 8-4 regular season or in trouble? And I'll start down there with these guys.
I think he's safe again. I mean, you win your last 5 games, you win your bowl game, and yeah, losing to Alabama by a big score and losing to Florida and Georgia in the same season, that's never good. But you win 5 in a row. I mean, we're talking about scenarios where you fire a head coach, and I think you'd have to have a losing season to be fired, so I think he's safe with this.
I think he is in major trouble after that Kentucky loss, which is, if they lose to Alabama that way, I think it's a very real possibility that this happens. But I think the 4-game winning streak, winning the bowl game against Mark Richt, I think that would help rally Butch Jones' situation. Under this scenario, I would start to wonder, does Butch Jones look somewhere else
to get out?
But I think he's safe at Tennessee in this scenario.
All right, I'm going to save Jimmy and Bob. Let's get to Bobby. What do you think?
Well, if you win those last 5 games, I think, that probably saves it. And then you look at the recruiting year he's having. Right. Is he going to be in the top 10 in the country maybe? When you fire a coach late in the season like that, that recruiting year is probably going to go to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah. Guys, your thoughts? Safe or trouble?
I want to say he's safe under this scenario. I think what all these scenarios show, if any of these come to pass, though, is do you have a ceiling with Butch Jones? Which, does that make him less safe than any of the scenarios say if Curry just looks at it and says, okay, we have like you said earlier, a good coach, but we're going to be an 8-win team forever. Do you make a change then? And this is the exact scenario that plays into it. You've got one good upset, you've got one bad loss to a team that nobody here likes to lose to. And I think this is the scenario right here that once again doesn't get him fired this season, but I think the same scenario 2 years in a row would probably get him going.
Jimmy.
The tough thing with this one to me is that if you get blown out by Alabama and lose to Kentucky, what's your attendance going to be like for your last few home games? I think it'll drop off a great deal. However, I still think if he can get to 8 wins in the regular season, I think he's going to be safe.
I think it'd be very difficult for Tennessee to fire a guy, especially, here's the thing. If you go 8-4, if you gave me, if I'm a Tennessee fan right now, and there are people who are going to disagree with this because they think 10's a realistic possibility, Sterling. If you gave me, if I'm a Tennessee fan, you gave me the option, take 8 wins now, I'd grab it because I don't think 8 wins is guaranteed this fall. So to me, if he got to 8 wins in the regular season this year, considering you're having to break in a new quarterback, you knew it was going to be a rebuild kind of year, I would see that as a positive.
I would too, but
that doesn't mean fans and boosters and Curry will.
True, but and to me, I look at it as not just Dobbs. It's your best receiver, it's your best running back, and it's Derek Barnett. You take those guys out of the equation, and you can come back and have the same regular season record and the same overall record. I would have difficulty firing him.
Well, John, and here's something else to consider. The players that just completed this 4-year cycle were recruited to a program that had gone 2-14 against the SEC and hadn't been to a bowl. That's what Butch Jones was recruiting to. Tennessee's facilities are no longer bigger and better than everybody's in the SEC. The facilities are a level playing field. It's not like the 1990s used to be. Look at Alabama, you look at LSU, the stadium improvements and additions. Therefore, I think Butch Jones needs another 4-year cycle. Now, a losing season would detract that, but if he could go from 2-14 to 8-win seasons, what can he do when he's recruiting to a program that's a perennial top 25?
Okay, I don't know that it's another 4-year cycle, but to me, I would be looking at it as long as there's not a losing record this year, and even then, if there's some extenuating circumstances, but as long as there's not a losing record this year, I would be giving him another year next year and saying, 6th year is prove it time. You've got a second-year starter at quarterback. Show us what you got. And if it's 8-4 again, then okay.
Starter at quarterback.
Yeah, so, all right. When we come back, we're going to have first edition of the 2017 year of Sunshine Sterling and Willie Raincloud. Overstreet and Hinton are going to tell you the reasons to be optimistic this fall. Wonder whose list is going to be longer. Come on back.